I'd like to talk with you about one of the most important themes you've likely never heard of. The future is going to be extremely different than what we've known. We truly we are already in the beginning of a new era. The year 2012, with the solstice, the winter solstice of the year 2012 is an exceptional turning point to consider as a year zero in many ways. We are in a new age. In this new age, it's critical to recognize that the prophecies from the past were speaking honestly, although with degrees of distortion about what we're going to continue to go through for a while. One of the biggest and most fundamental changes is the revelation of the truth. Now, if you interpret this from the past and stay there, you're going to remain a little lost. Let's make it much more simple. We've been living amidst many, many lies, and they will dissolve. They will no longer be fundamental parts of the human experience. Within this, you have to understand the difference between rejecting a lie and embracing the truth. There's this in-between phase that we're in, when people are excited to sort of sense within yourself that, oh my gosh, I knew that stuff was wrong. I knew we needed to say no to these things. And it's really great. It's awesome. But you can't stop here. You can't just reject what's wrong. If you do, you're actually closer to what's wrong than what's true. When you reject the different elements of the old world, you're doing God's work in a very real way. You're doing the divine earth a favor by helping to tear down the past. But ultimately, it's not great for you to stay in this role. You want to be centered in the health, in the vibrancy, in the new way. And in order to remain centered in this new way, you have to know enough about it to where are you going to grip? How are you going to hold yourself in this life day to day? There's a split occurring. I'd like to give you a simple analogy to understand what's happening because it's very important that you begin to make your choices now. When the world believes, when Western culture believes in allopathic medicine, medicine that is designed around the physical body. So when we respond to insanity, psychosis, cancer, urinary tract infections, heart pain in your heart, when you respond to all of these things as if the physical level of reality, the body, the chemistry in the body, as if these things are the most important, you've already made a very huge decision. It's a big decision and it's wrong. Correlation is not causation. If you're only measuring what happens on the physical level and you are determining that this is the cause for whatever life experience has gone awry, then you're actually in many cases not going to be able to do a good job of changing, bringing healing. Because a lot of stuff that goes on the physical level is a response, it's a reaction, it's an echo of changes that are happening on a mental or spiritual plane. When anyone says anything like this, they are put into a space that's often called alternative. Now look at this as just a mental exercise. When you call this alternative over here, you've determined that the center remains this old physical interpretation of reality, allopathic medicine. We're calling this health and this alternative health. When this paradigm is simply wrong in many ways, everything that we experience is not fundamentally determined on the physical plane. Some of the things that happen on the physical plane are reactions to changes on the mental and spiritual plane. So the paradigm at the core of allopathic medicine is wrong. Doesn't mean all the doctors are useless. Doesn't mean all their studies are bad. All of it is still useful, but it's been filtered through a slightly rotten paradigm as a foundation. Same thing goes for our spiritual awareness. When you begin to wake up spiritually, if you simply give credence to anything that helps you believe beyond the limits you used to live in, you're doing the same thing. You're saying, I'm in this alternative. You're still in the alternative to your old way. You don't want to be stuck in an alternative to the old way. Simple reason. Everything that can talk to you and connect you spiritually is not necessarily loving and giving and true and what you need. In fact, on a simpler level, you're not going to be able to follow every spiritual force you connect with because they're going in different directions. Once you start to open your awareness enough to communicate telepathically, which is just like it's a first step in a big spiritual transformation. When you begin to open yourself in this way, you have to begin right away to determine and filter who is valuable to pay attention to, what source, what consciousness deserves your attention. Now, this is not all about malice or potential manipulation. Some of it is just, where are you going? If you're talking to someone who teaches you how to leave the earth, that is a complete and utter and tremendous sacred gift, if that's what you really want to do. When you're talking to beings who are watching us, they're voyeurs, they're an audience, sometimes they talk at the screen, so to speak, you need to know that that's who they are, because there are a lot of beings who watch. They watch. They watch this almost like a show. And when they watch, they interact. And when they interact, if they get your attention, they're going to be very happy. Oh, it's very interesting. It's exciting. It's empowering in a way. And most know that if they get too involved, they're going to have to incarnate. So they play in weird and strange ways. And if you don't learn about this, you might get caught with essentially a voyeur trapping you in their mind, giving you some accurate information about your life because they could see you from a very different perspective, giving you some potentially useful information about the way things are changing, what's going on around you, but they're just a being. And in fact, they're not only just a being, they're not as invested here as you are. So is that where you want to be putting your attention? You need to know that this is a concern because there is a split. And here's how I encourage you to measure. When you begin to talk telepathically, to connect spiritually, and you already have in your dreams, so you might as well begin to incorporate this value now. When you connect with other beings, are they committed to the earth, or are they either just a voyeur, or are they leaving? Are they committed to this place? Do they love this place? Do they want this place to become more beautiful, more loving, more vibrant? Do they want to heal the wounds of history? Do they want to help humanity transcend anger and rage and aggression and violence and the cycles of karma? Are they committed to this? Or are they leaving? Maybe they want all those things, but they're leaving. They are on a journey. They are preparing to go to another place, another planet, or more likely even another star. Many beings essentially move together between stars. Is that what you're going to do? Do you know that? Are you sure you're ready to make that choice? At the very least, can you learn to engage other beings as they are, as representatives from another place who, like, what are they doing? Why are they here? What is their commitment? What do they see for you? What do they want for you? When you don't know what's going on, it's very easy to drown in the presence of another spiritual being's witness. Just witnessing you will be like a spotlight. It'll have such a deep and profound impact on your consciousness that it's very likely you'll just gravitate into their mind. You'll move with them. You'll think with them. If you don't know how to ask questions, if you don't know how to hold that spotlight at bay a little, if you're just so like a moth to a flame, like, oh my God, spiritual presence, it's amazing. Look, I don't mean to make fun. I respect how deep these experiences are, but I want you to care that there's this maturity you need to aspire to where you get to say, hey, wait, who are you? What are you? What do you want? Just because it makes you feel buzz doesn't mean it's true, doesn't mean it's loving even. I don't want you to be paranoid. There's much more goodness than sickness in the cosmos, truly. And you need to be able to make choices about things that you don't even necessarily know are choices yet. You need to be able to make decisions about where you want to be centered. You need to make a choice to not make a choice yet. You need to make a choice to be in the choosing. So every time you connect to a new being, you have a degree of center to you already. You have a degree of skepticism and awareness of, who are you? Interview them. Do they deserve your attention? Do you want to share your consciousness with them? Because I assure you, sharing spiritually shifts your consciousness quite a lot. And if you just keep shifting your consciousness, you won't have the momentum to live a good life. So I invite you again to make this a value, to make this a priority. Be present with beings who are committed here. Be present with beings who love the earth. Be present with beings who love the earth and love the transcendence, the healing of karma for humanity. There are many earthly beings that are more like fairy sprites, neither good nor bad, but they're perfectly happy to play with you, and they might lead you astray. You have to ask these questions in order to learn to be present with this incredible spiritual power that you're waking up. When in doubt, call on an angel. I encourage you heavily to choose to trust Thoth, who taught me this system. Or if you know your own path, be present with that path. Return to your angelic guidance as a discipline whenever you're confused about the intentions of whatever being you're connected to. And beings connect in a lot of different ways. So learn to watch it, learn to feel it. This is ultimately an incredibly beautiful process. Inspiring, enlivening, empowering, fun, invigorating, joyful, makes every day more vibrant, more full of potential, richness and dimension. You see beauty wherever you are. You connect with your heart connection more than your mind connection. You trust and embrace the potentials with people. You tune in with synchronicities. Your dreaming becomes so powerful that you're just floating the dreams into space like beautiful balloons and attracting attention, support, guidance, nurturing. There is so much to discover about the potential and power and presence of an awakened spiritual way. Just as you go, keep learning. Be conscious of what matters. Be conscious of the decisions you're just beginning to be able to make. And return here and ask questions as you need to learn more. Thank you for being here. I invite you to explore the website. We have many services, including individual sessions, courses, and an online community that you could be a part of if it feels true and good for you. Much love. Be with you and your family.